Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is September 10, 2021. We will talk about stocks with the heavy institution buying. So as you can see here, when institutions are buying the stocks on a big level, that tells you there is a conviction from these institutions and the stock may go up. So typically institutions want to make money. They have more power and more knowledge on what stocks to buy most of the times. With that, let's look at the stocks here. As you can see here, we got MOXC here at the top, Chinese-based company. Stock price is $8.11. Very low market cap, $156 million. As you look here, there is a very heavy institution buying here, 497%. We got a RSI also very low, tells you good to buy at these levels, and a high short ratio, which tells you this can cause a short squeeze. And this company has historically done well. In 1 year, it has done 259% performance. So with that, we got a couple more here. PALI, AUS, FTFT, which is one of my favorite at these levels. Again, China-based fintech play, MYMD, and so on and so forth. As you look through here, many of these are low dollar stocks, as you can scan here, and they got very high institution buying here. That tells you there is something going on here we should take a look at. And look through RSI levels here. Many of these stocks like MOXC, PALI, low RSI tells you it's okay to buy at these levels. You're not paying too much money. On the other hand, stocks like MYMD here, little high from a RSI perspective. I would wait for a little bit pullback. And same story with probably AEI and AUS. These are a little low, not too high. You could still buy a small position and watch those two. And look at these two companies here. They got nice 1 year return. MOXC as well as FTFT, both are Chinese companies. And also look at the short ratio here. MOXC high short ratio, this can cause a short squeeze, and FTFT same story, high short ratio, and also AEI a high short ratio. That tells you these three stocks can create a short squeeze given there is a high institution buying coupled with a low stock price. And then we got here some more. As you scan through here, we got PBTS, WDH, and so on and so forth. And look at that insider buying. Many times these are very high. And I've highlighted few stocks with a low market cap in red here. These stocks can be easily manipulated. Keep a watch. These are low market cap. And then we got here short percentage here. Many cases, in case of PBTS, very high short ratio, and also RCON Recon, very high short ratio. Those could be the candidates for a short squeeze. Then we got here RSI levels. In many of these cases, it's the low RSI. I think stock has got more room to run, and good to have make a small entry position here. So with that, let's look at a few numbers here into a little more detail and see what stocks could be worth buying here. So before we go in, let's look at big broader market here. As you can scan through here, S&P 500 is a little bit down of late, a couple down days here. It might touch 25-day moving average, and then typically it bounces off. Sometimes it can also touch 50-day moving average like it did back in July. And then we got QQQ, Nasdaq 100 stocks, same story, little weakness here. It might also touch 25-day moving average. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average and Russell 2000 both are a little more weaker. As we scan through here, Dow Jones Industrial Average already touched below 50-day moving average here, and same is the story with the Russell 2000. It's also trying to bounce off of its 50-day moving average here. So with that, we'll take a closer look at these broader markets, and typically it's good to trade in the same direction of the broader market. And sometimes when the stocks broader market drops like this, it's a very good way to look at strong candidates in these areas and buy them into the weakness. That will give you some good growth going forward. So with that, let's look at few stocks here. Starting with the top here, MOXC Moxian. It's a Chinese-based stock. Very good inside institution transactions here, 497%. Very low sales as you can see here, 1 billion. Nice fundamentals with the 1 year and quarter-over-quarter growth here. And as you scan through here, low RSI, good to buy. Stock is oversold. Even though it's made some progress in the near term, still way off from 52-week high. So I would buy MOXC on any down days here and accumulate a nice position here. A short ratio 11% tells you there's a short squeeze possibility here. And then you got PALI here, Palisad, $2.09 stock here, low market cap, 32 million here. Nice insider transactions. RSI is 46, tells you still room to run. Stock has made some move in the recent weeks. So I think this one also good to buy a little bit now and buy more if it drops further. And then you got your FTFT Chinese-based fintech play here, $2.51, low RSI, fundamental perspective, good sales growth, good okay gross margin, and RSI 45 tells you can still buy here. But high IV percentile tells you don't buy call option. Instead, you may be better off to sell some premium here. Then we got here an NRXP here, $12 stock. As you see here, very high institution transactions, low RSI. It could be a good one to buy at these levels. And scan through, all of these have got very high institution transactions. Look at stocks like PBTS, WDH, NAUT. All of them have got high institution transactions. And as you scan through here, they also have low RSI. And many of the cases, stocks like AEI, PBTS have got a high short ratio, tells you they can cause a short squeeze. We got a couple more here, PAYO, Coinbase, which is one of the bigger crypto plays here. They got a nice crypto trading applications here. I think stock is down off late here. I would buy a little bit of this Coinbase at these levels and slowly accumulate. And then you got RCON and IDEX, and both are good at these levels. And as you scan through here, low RSI. Coupled with the in both these cases we got high short ratio that can create a short squeeze. I would look at some of these names here. You can also look at other names, apply similar methodology here and take it from there. And we got one more page here. As we scan through, we got all these stocks have got nice institution buying here. There is a nice support from institutions. And in some cases, for example, Ashford here, there is also nice insider buying. That's a good combination. Insiders are buying, institutions are buying. That's a good combo. And I've highlighted a few stocks for you to look at, like Astra, Neuro, APP, and CTRM, INVZ, SOS, Ocugen. These stocks have got low RSI as you can look through, and many times we also have some higher short ratio like Neuro, even Naked brand here, and I think any is a little high right now. It's coming down. Probably it's good to look at any at these levels. And then we got others like SOS and Ocugen with high short ratio. I would look at some of these names and start initiating a small position here. And then you got few more here with the Second Eye, Austerl, Sundial, YQ, so on and so forth. High institutional buying. In many cases like no one, there is also high insider transaction. That's a winning combo here. And also in some cases like PDSP and DPW, I think that's a high insider as well as institution transactions, that's a good one. And in many cases, as you scan through here, we do have some higher short float. Tells you this can cause short squeeze as you go forward. Good to buy some of those candidates. I've highlighted them in red here, high short ratio. Take a look at those and see if you can buy a little bit at these levels and participate in the short squeeze. And if you're a fundamental investor, look at the sales growth and gross margin. For example, companies like SB, could be a good one. And also we got EOLS here, nice fundamentals, and so on and so forth. You could look at greens in 1 year, quarter over quarter sales growth and gross margin. Those are the fundamentally good companies you can invest for a little longer term too. And we got one more page here. I've highlighted SESN, GEVO, PCT, mainly because I think it's a high short ratio as you can scan through here. And also I think RSI levels are lower. So you could look at those stocks also. Many of these are low dollar stocks. Many folks can afford this and play along. So with that, let's look at few companies in a little more detail. And we got MOXC here. It operates a social network platform in China. Stock has been dropped off big time, pulled back. But look at the on the balance volume. On the balance volume is staying steady. I think big institutions are buying the stock at these levels. We should see a turnaround in MOXC as we go forward. As you see closely here, there is some bullishness in the near term. Stock is forming a nice base, trying to make its move higher. And then you got IDEX. It's into commercial electric vehicles and looking at associated energy consumption, also into fintech services here. Stock has been dropping off late here, but on the balance volume is pretty steady. I think this too can go higher as we go forward. I'm willing to buy slowly and accumulate a nice position. And then you got FTFT. It's again a Chinese-based fintech play. It's into blockchain e-commerce platform. As you'll see, your stock is trading sideways, but as you can see here, on the balance volume is pretty steady at a higher clip. That's why I think some of these Chinese stocks are ripe for a turnaround. I would buy some FTFT at these levels and take it from there. And then you got NRXP. They're a clinical stage small molecule pharma company here. I think stock has been trading sideways off late, and look at the on the balance volume. It's pretty went up and pretty steady. I would buy some NRXP at these levels. There's a very heavy institutional buying going on here. That could be good candidate. So with that, you might wonder, when do I buy and sell the stocks? I got a quick cheat sheet for you here. You can look at this in detail. So from an entry point perspective, look for a low RSI. If the on the balance volume is rising, that's a good indication the stock might be ripe for a bounce back. From an exit point perspective, don't buy the stock when the RSI is high, but instead look for trimming your position when RSI is higher than 60 and on the balance volume is falling. That tells you momentum may be waning at this point. Always buy and sell in stages. Don't try to make a huge big purchase with all your money. That will not serve well many times because there is a capital loss potential there. And also when stocks are consolidating for a while, look for some sign of bullishness before you put money, so that way stock is turning around before you put your money. For the stock nearing 52-week high, look for a pullback before buying, and stocks nearing 52-week low, look for a sign of price increase. And for a stock with a huge price drop, look for some signs of bullishness. Many times a high short ratio or a short float can be a good catalyst, especially when the stock is sold off, and also when there is a high conviction from insiders and institutions with a high inside institution buying. Look for fundamentally good companies. Look for rule of 40, where quarter over quarter sales growth plus gross margin greater than 40%. When there is a secular biotech stock or a technology stock down big on a bad news, it's okay to buy a small tracking position when things are ugly. And then you can add on as we go forward. Option buyers always watch out for low RSI, watch out for low RSI and low IV. That's a good place to buy, coupled with some good fundamentals like rule of 40. Option sellers look for high RSI, especially call option seller, high RSI and low IV percentile. Low IV percentile will make sure you don't pay too much for the option. Will make sure you get a lot of premium for the option. And if you're a put option buyer, look for a high RSI. So that way, stock may go down and you can make money. And also low IV, make sure you don't pay too much money on the premium because IV is low. If you're a put option seller, look for low RSI. You want the stock to go up, and also a high IV to ensure you get enough money in premium. With that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading.